Alright, two notes on the start. That first one, this guide is, I'm calling it early guide, so that means it's created on beta and not exactly everything working there. So I don't know what was not working, but it's always something, so take this guide with a little bit skepticism that don't need to be 100% true. Usually just 99, but we will see. I will be fixing it as soon as possible after I get any new information, after I will start playing retail. If I see something new, just check description under the video and there will be note what is different. And also, as this is like early guide, I'm focusing more about healing and less about some survival mechanics or dealing damage. Yeah, I'm focusing just to gear character as fast as possible without any issues. So of course then I will use like pro guide for pushing, but this one is just really go to the dungeon, heal as much as possible, be as useful as you can, get your gear, leave. So that's what we are focusing on the first week of new DLC, because there will be a lot of gearing. So it's focused more on healing, less on the like dealing damage and like push mechanics. And second note is that nobody has set pieces yet, and this guide was practiced and trained. I was playing on beta, and you have of course set piece there, but set pieces in season 1 are usually not that strong, so you are just weaker. You can do exactly the same thing as I'm doing in the guide without set or with set. It's just you will be a little bit weaker if you don't have set. So don't worry if you don't have it, it will take time. It usually does in first season. So first of all, starting with the stats, I should just close it. It's just random stats I have with random gear on beta. First, our priority of secondary stats, of course intel is always priority, but from secondary stats our first priority is critical strike, not only because it's healing more when you do critical strike of course, but also you have additional mechanics with the shaman, one of which are you are getting mana back, really nice. Another thing, you are getting spreading your single target heals on another target, and that chance is increased by double when you do critical strikes. And the third mechanic with critical is your critical heals have 250% effectiveness instead of 200. That was our old set piece before, now we have it in talents. So yeah, critical is very important for rest of shamans. Then secondary stat, we are going Versa. It's just because other stats are not very interesting for us. As third stat, we go Haste, and last one Mastery. Mastery on rest of shaman sounds good on the paper, but in reality it's performing quite bad. And there is quite decent percentage we are getting by default, so I have just 1000. You need to get used to new numbers too. But yeah, default is 30%, that's quite decent. I put Haste third, but Haste you need to get to feel comfortable. If you don't have any haste, like zero haste, you go full critical versatility, then your cast will be so long, you won't feel comfortable. You will feel that after you finish your heals, targets are already dead. So you want a little bit of haste. Now it's hard to say what numbers we will have, because this is just funny gear on beta and then you are jumping up and down, so I'm not sure how much thousands or something like that will be exactly good. So just take haste as you feel comfortable. If you feel like you are not fast enough, you are casting ability so long, take more haste. As you start feeling you have mana issues, put haste down. Because of course, if you cast faster, we will use more abilities and that will cause more mana. So if you start struggling on the mana, then haste go down. If you're struggling that you feel you are really slow, go more haste. So you can go critical first stat, haste secondary stat. Or you can just put it absolutely on 0, but you need to feel comfortable, because you will feel like you are like brick. You cannot finish anything, because we are casting a lot. Let's have a look on talents. So from talents, I'm choosing definitely Farseer. Totemic, I would say, have more potential, but it feels you need to think more, you need to plan more, and you're spending more mana. So just to be safe, chill, nice, sitting back, just chilling while gearing your character, I think this is the perfect thing you can choose. On the rest of Shaman, or Shaman overall, you have many choices on the left tree, and quite a few choices on the right tree too. So right now I would just tell you this is a great combination you can get. You have almost all utilities and almost good for anything you can meet in those dungeons. If you feel like you're missing some utilities, you really want Froggy or something, just choose it. I'll just choose this one. It's gold middle wave, good for everywhere, not special for anything, but they are performing overall. One change I recommend for you to do, if you really don't like Cloudburst Totem, I know many people don't like Cloudburst Totem. I'm the one that hates it, but I'm playing it because it's just better. Cloudburst Totem is here to compensate VR luck AoE heals with this build. So you will save that healing and then you will just explode it to boost AoE. But Healing Stream Totem is also a viable choice. It's a strong totem, it's just more sustained and less bursty like Cloudburst Totem. So if you feel like playing Living Stream, just feel free to change it. You'll be chilling much more because Cloudburst, again, you need to plan ahead and you need to think about it. Living Stream Totem, you just place and you can chill and sit back. If you want exactly these talents, a link will be in the description of this video. Alright, so priority, gameplay, rotation, whatever you want to call it, let's start with that. So first I will explain abilities and then I will try to say it in the way it can be easily understandable as priority lists. On the very start of pool, you should apply Flame Shock on some target. This is part of the healing and we will talk more about later, but it's the first thing what we are doing. We get to the combat and we apply at least one Flame Shock because it's got cooldown, so of course we cannot do more at the same time. We'll talk about it later, why we want to apply it, but yes, start with that. It's not healing yet, but it's part of the healing. So, the second thing, well, it's not second, I still put it under 0 priority because this should be prepared before you start healing or before you get to the combat, and is to have Air Shield. You have 2 Air Shields, one can be only used on you, so always keep it on yourself. It's also reducing damage by 5%, not only healing you. And now with the new hero talents you have also 3 extra stacks and it's healing 25% more. Second shield usually keep on the tank, because that's who is getting most damage from the group, obviously, so it's very effective. In the case there is some single target mechanic, prepare it on that DPS because you know that DPS will take more damage than others. But usually most of the times one on you, second one on tank, and keep refreshing it. One thing I almost forgot about Air Shields, that Air Shields is also increasing healing to the target, your healing to the target by 20%. It's not like overtime healing or something, it's just your healing, all your healing by 20%. So that's another reason why Air Shield is quite important. That one you want to also have prepare your Water Shield, but it's something like you have a new buff, Sky Fury, for the whole group. You want to just apply it once on the start, and ideally you don't need to reapply it during duration of dungeon. So we apply Flame Shock, more about later, and we have our shields ready. So let's actually get to the healing. This is our preparation, and now we actually need to heal because somebody is not on 100% of health. We are starting with the Riptide. It's topmost priority with the Restore Shaman because there is so many mechanics. It's just they added new hero talents. Somebody just log in. He's sitting right on me. Alright, I'm moving. There is so many mechanics and synergies together because they just added new bunch of mechanics and side effects, and they didn't make anything simpler. So the classes are same difficulty as Dragonflight, and there's no new synergies because you have hero talents. So it's getting everything just more difficult. I really noticed it as I was making guides. There was much more than previously. Alright, so we are still talking about Riptide. What is Riptide? Is with 2 parts. It's one strong initial hit that is healing more than 50%. More than 2/3 of overall healing of that ability is initial, and then you have long duration healing over time. So it's healing very little because it's slow heal. But that healing over time effect have additional effects. Little note about that strong initial heal, that you can even use it twice on the same target. It's not like you are spreading some healing over time effect, it's also strong initial heal. So if somebody have it already, not an issue. Just you can keep healing with that because it's decent. But of course we want to have Riptide on as many targets as possible. Let's dig into many mechanics about Riptide that is not just heal. It's doing much more. When we use Riptide, we are getting 2 stacks of Tidal Waves. Tidal Waves, you can see already, is decreasing cast time of our next healing wave or chain heal, and is increasing critical effect of our healing surge. This is increased numbers because I have set piece that is increasing this effect by 80%. So it's almost double than what you usually will have. But no matter what, always when you are using different abilities than Riptide that can be empowered by tidal waves, you want them to be empowered by tidal waves. So when you are even spamming surges, you still want to cast some Riptide between it to get that buff. And now it's stacking to 4. That's absolutely amazing. Second thing, what is doing Riptide? It's already happened, so let's just talk about it. Second thing what Riptide is doing, it got small chance that you will get Ascendance. It's 7% chance, Ascendance for 6 seconds. That's our nice cooldown, and it's free proc, free cooldown. That cooldown is spreading our healing to other targets. That's amazing. Another magic of Riptide is it's hot on the target. It's increasing most of your healing on the target. It's just from specific ability. For you, it will be Healing Wave and Healing Surge by 15%. So not only is healing, is also increasing other heals on the target. That's another reason we want to spread that Riptide hot on multiple targets. Another mechanic of healing hot is we have 2 abilities. When we cast Rain, after it's finished casting, it will heal all targets with Riptide. This target over here, so everybody with Riptide will get healed when casting Rain. And when we are using Primordial Wave, then everybody is getting percentage of Healing Wave. So another reason healing over time effect is not healing much, but it's important to keep it up because we have other mechanics with it and increasing our heals. And we are not on the end, because this plus chance was just the beginning. We have another 2 plus chances. We have Ancestral Awakening, that when we heal with our Riptide, is also Healing Wave and Healing Surge. We have 30% chance, or 60% when it's Critical Strike, that's why it's Critical Strike important for us, to heal additional target, just one single target, for 50% amount we healed. So another huge part. And then is yet another proc, the third one. Yes, we have our Ancestors with our hero talents. So Riptide have 50% chance to spawn Ancestor for 16 seconds. So all of these mechanics together, Riptide make most important ability what we have. It won't heal the most, as this is from some dungeon. Healing Surge will be our king. But it's important to still using it, because with that Healing Surge have more percentage chance to critical strike and everything else. So increase healing by 15% on targets and blah blah blah. So it's most important ability, not healing the most, but most important ability to always keep your eye on it. Who got Riptides? If I have Riptides ready, if I have Healing Tides up, Healing Tidal Waves, sorry. Even if you don't have set piece, you always want to have Tidal Waves when you are casting Healing Wave and Healing Surge. So yes, any damage is happening, you have some stacks of Riptide ready. Now we have even 3 stacks. You are applying Riptides on your friend list. Let's move on to our second priority after Riptide is our Kaldorf Bottom or Healing Stream. Let's talk about them at the same time because it's the same talent. It's just 2 sides of the same talent. Let's start with Healing Stream Totem because it's easier to explain than Cloudburst. Healing Stream Totem, anytime you need to heal a little bit more than your Riptides can do, just use Healing Stream Totem, place it on the floor, and it will start healing. There is nothing more to be said. Put it down, it will start healing. You will be happy, I guess. You can just do more damage because Totem is healing for you. So anytime you need to heal a little bit more than Riptide, place Healing Stream Totem down. And that's completely all you need to know. It's very simple ability. And that Totem is healing around him, so also a little bit take care where the Totem is, because sometimes you can put it behind the wall, then Totem cannot see. Alright, Cloudburst Totem is a little bit more difficult mechanic because you need to think about it. What is Cloudburst Totem doing? It's saving percentage of our healing, and after its duration ends, or we will reuse the same button, it will release that healing that was stored, and it will be split amongst all nearby injured allies. So, it's not healing on its own, you need to feed it. To place down Totem, I really recommend to get some big aura that will be showing you how much healing you have saved there, because it's quite important to know. So you place totem down and you are doing any kinds of heals. Percentage of that your heals are stored in the totem. I can reactivate the button, same button as I placed it, or end of duration. It will explode and it will do burst of heals. That means if you are blasting cooldowns, some better heals, then use it together to save that heal, or there is some damage phase, then just use it when you are keeping your friends alive with your heals, and after that you will just release totem to just finish your healing to give them that 100% help. Or you can plan ahead and you place totem down. Its duration is quite long, it's 18 seconds, so you place totem down and you're just healing smaller damage, but big burst is coming. And you will just feed the totem, and when there will be big burst and you need to heal really fast, you are already prepared. So the totem is charged, and then you just click the button and release the totem. If you plan it perfectly, it will be just end of duration when you actually need that heal. So we can even prepare it before. If there will be really nothing happening and big burst, you can do the same thing, because the totem is storing overheals too. So it doesn't matter. Everybody is full on health. You can still charge. Of course, you're wasting your mana, but still, if that will help you survive some burst, yeah, go for it. And the last note about Cloudburst is, unlike Healing Stream Totem or most totems, Cloudburst Totem doesn't matter. Think about Cloudburst Totem like it's buff on yourself, because it's not actually totem. Its healing is not storing around the totem, it's just storing on you. So it doesn't matter where it is. And when the heal explodes, you can also see an animation. After I will just click it now, the heal explodes. You can see even animation going from you. So you don't care where this totem is placed. It doesn't matter. It's healing around you and it's storing your healing. So it's just buff on you. It's just animation of totem. Maybe in PvP they can destroy the totem to cancel your healing. I guess that's the point. But otherwise in PvE you don't care where it is. It's around you. So you can forget you place it and then group keep running for 20 yards. It's okay. It's your range around you, not the totems. And the part of Cloudburst Totem that is splitting to nearby injured allies is that important word injured. That means if somebody is 100% of health, it won't be healed. So it can also be used on big bursts of single target healing, or maybe 2 targets or something like that. Because if somebody is 100, not an issue. So if you have some ability, I know in Grim Battle there is some odd enemies, nobody's getting damage, just tank, and one is getting strong debuff on himself, strong dot. In that case, if you are unlucky, tank and that target get healed, but that's still good because it just split by 2. Or if you are lucky and tank is 100%, in that moment every heal will go to that target. So it can be also used on single target, but it's a little bit more tricky. So yeah, just keep it for some burst healings, but it's not long cooldown, it's 39 seconds, so just keep using it regularly. It will save you some mana, you do some nice healing, it's not costing that much. Let's move to third priority. So I moved Ancestral Swiftness over here. Before I always talk about it in cooldowns, but now it's just 30 seconds and it's better than before. So let's talk about that. Before we go there, I want to talk about our ancestors. So we already know our Riptide have 50% chance to call it. But without this talent, we always call Ancestor. When I'm healing with Healing Surge on duration, we'll also go through that. And the second thing, we call Ancestor after we use Ancestral Swiftness. So Ancestral Swiftness is the same thing as Natural Swiftness, it's just replacing that ability. And it's 30 seconds less cooldown. So the previous ability, your next nature ability, is costing no mana and is instant. Now it's half cooldown, still costing no mana and is instant, and it's doing additional 10% more damage or healing. Plus spawning Ancestral. It's so many synergy and mechanics that are making this game really difficult. This is so many mechanics that are working together, so many abilities, working with so many abilities. Alright, Ancestor. What is Ancestor? You will spawn some little guy next to you. Let's make sure I will spawn it. You can even see it. And if you will do some abilities, like now I did heal, he did heal. If I do Lava Burst, he will do Lava Burst. So it's similar to Holy Priest, what have Naru. When you're doing damage, is doing damage. When you're doing healing, it's copying your activity. If you do nothing, that spawn will just do nothing. So we have chance to proc it with our Riptide. We also have 100% with Ancestral Swiftness. After we use that, we will spawn it. So you want to use it often, because it's saving your mana, saving your time, making it instant, making it a little bit stronger, and spawning our little helper that will keep us healing or keep doing damage. What spell we want to use with this is Healing Wave, Healing Surge, or Healing Rain. So in normal healing, we're just using on Healing Surge because that's what we are spamming. That's what is pumping most heals. We want to use Ancestral Swiftness and Healing Surge with it. If we are using Primordial Wave, that means our next Healing Wave, 40% of its healing is shared through Riptide targets. We want to use it with it because Healing Wave, it's quite long cast. Of course, we can shorten it up by 36%, but it's still quite long cast. So just even from the time saving moment, it's just good to use it with it because it's 30-second cooldown. You want to use it anyway. So definitely go for it. And also that 10% increase healing from it will be 10% better shared through each other. So also empower that Healing Wave is not a bad idea. And the third thing, if you don't really need to heal that much right now, then just use it for Healing Rain. Because Healing Rate is expensive on mana, also long cast. And that's more or less it, because Healing Rate we are mostly using for damage than healing. So if you don't need to heal, you are using on Rain. If you are healing, Healing Surge, and if you are doing Primordial Wave, you can use it for Healing Wave to save a little bit time. So straight to 4th priority. Guess what? Primordial Wave. We know right now what it is. Primordial Wave, it's costing very little mana, so really effective. I forgot to mention with Riptide is also really mana effective. Riptide is not expensive ability. Most healers need to spend more mana to heal the same amount as Riptide can do in just 40,000 mana. It's barely something. So Primordial Wave, 30-second cooldown is even less than before. We'll apply a little heal on the target, we don't really care. I think it's very bottom, it's down here. I did 30 hits, it's average 93, that's decent. That's quite decent, but still, it's nothing. 0.2% over healing. But it's also applying Riptide, and that Riptide will do whole healing, so also initial and also healing over time. And then our next healing wave, 40% of healing wave healing will be shared on targets with Riptide. This 40% is also shared on the same target with the Riptide, so it's also you can just use it for buffing a little bit single target healing. But usually for AoE. So first sign of AoE, and we have Primordial Wave ready, we are using it. Another thing, if you can plan it, is our Undulatation, and this talent is making our every third healing wave or healing surge, so our single target heals, not Riptide, heals for additional 50%. So if you are casting ability, you have one stack, you have a second stack, and the third one I have Vigora for that is healing 50% more. So now if you use Primordial Wave, I will combine with Nature Safeness. I will do quite nice healing. It's hard to see the numbers over here. I will do quite nice healing, and that increased heal will be shared through targets with Riptide. So if you can empower the healing wave, it's a good idea to do it and plan it. Time for 5th priority, and I put there Healing Surge. Thing with this build is we are not using Chain Heal. Literally never ever. We don't even have talents for Chain Heal to make it stronger. And even if I try to do more Chain Heal talents, and I checked average healing from one Chain Heal and one Riptide, a Riptide healed more than one Chain Heal. So even when you are doing AoE, it's worth for you to cast a Riptide on one target, second target, third target, then 3 times Chain Heal. Of course, Chain Heal is healing differently, so we're healing 5 targets a little, but one Healing Surge will heal more than whole Chain Heal. It's just feeling a little bit bad because some targets are full on health after huge healing surges, and all the targets are lower with the health because it's healing one by one, it's not healing more of them together. So other times it can feel bad when you're healing AoE, but trust me, you are healing more health per second when casting healing surges than if you will be casting those chain heals. So just forget about chain heal with this build, just put it from the bars, you don't care, you are never using chain heal, because it's just not worth it. In all situations, it's just healing surge better. And a little bit more about healing surge is that it's spreading its heals. We know about this mechanic already, Ancestral Awakening, same as a Riptide or Healing Wave. So heal got a chance to duplicate on second target with 50% of effectiveness. Another thing in Healing Surge is that you will be doing quite a lot of criticals, mainly after you get set, to improve even more these tidal waves. So your healing chance, the tidal waves is a healing chance. Critical chance is higher. So it's usually criticals. And its criticals are also refunding a little of your mana. So not only nice heals, but if you do critical, it's some better mana back. And the last mechanic with there, we have our under rotation. We already talked about it. Every third cast will be more. You will notice it. It will heal significantly higher than others. Alright, next priority. This is starting to be weird. Let's go to target damage. So next priority we have is Flame Shock with Lava Burst. And let's finally talk about that Flame Shock. There is so little people here? Wow, maybe they are just preparing and sleeping and preparing for early access. Alright, so I mentioned on the start, after we get to the pool, we start having combat. First thing what we do is the Flame Shock. Now about it, why? It will do damage, that's obvious reason, but Flame Shock periodic damage has a chance to rest the remaining cooldown of Lava Burst and cause your next Lava Burst to be instant. We want to use instant Lava Bursts because of course we are saving time. So yeah, we want instant Lava Burst. That's why we'll start with the Flame Shock. After we use Lava Burst, don't need to be instant, doesn't matter, but ideally instant to save time. After we use Lava Burst, we will get stuck with the Master of Elements. We can stack it up to 2. I have now prog now, so I will do instant. This buff is increasing healing of your next healing surge by 30% per stack. So I have 2 stacks, is 60%. That is crucial that we do damage in our healing rotation, of course in a spare time, not like we need to heal now, I'm doing damage because I need to increase my healing. No, if you really need to heal right now, you're just healing, you don't bother about that. But in our more free time, spare moments, we want to use this damage, because of course we will do damage, that means key will be faster, and it's also increasing our next healing, so then we can spend less time on healing, and then just move to damage again, or play mechanics, dodging stuff on the floor, and interrupting, knocking back enemies, blah blah blah. There is many things we need to do. So with this, we do some damage, and it's increasing our heal, and not only our healing surge will be much better, but after we spend this buff, then we will apply Flame Shock on the nearby enemy. I had 2 stacks, that means you will apply 2 Flame Shocks. So, that means if you do Flame Shock on the start, then you use that instant Lava Burst, and then you need to heal from it. So, you get instant Lava Burst, and then you need to be healing, so we heal. But if you heal, then you apply another Flame Shock, and that another Flame Shock will prog you instant Lava Burst, and that will instant Lava Burst increase your healing, and then increase, if you spend that increase healing, you will apply another Flame Shock, and another Flame Shock will, you see what I mean here. So this is like, it's a DPS rotation, but it's healing rotation. So after then you're just healing, you don't need to be reapplying any Flame Shocks, because it will be just proccing your Lava Burst, you will be healing from it, and Flame Shocks will be just jumping around, and you'll be spreading through the group. So that's why it's important to just, when you go to the combat, just apply 1 Flame Shock, so this rotation started going. So yes, even Flame Shock and Lava Burst is not heal abilities, is increasing your healings, and it's also easy to keep this circle going after you apply that first Flame Shock, so you're not spending even time for those casts, you are getting more damage from healing, that's nice, and then from that damage you're getting more healing. A little note about Lava Burst, that ideally you want to cast it on the same target that is Flame Shock, because if you use it on the same target, it's 100% critical. You don't need to bother by that, Any target is good if you need to focus on healing and need to heal a lot. Just any target is good, but of course, to min-max damage, I enjoy target with Flame Shock. And on the last spot of our priority list is Healing Rain. It's something you should keep 100% of the time, but it's low priority. That means if you really need to heal, you can forget about it. So what is Healing Rain doing? It's healing us something. Do I have still the dungeon here? Yeah. So through whole dungeon it will do something. It's 3%, it's not big, because most ranged not even standing in it. But that Healing Rain is doing a big chunk of our damage. So that's why we keep applying it. Then that Healing Rain is healing through Tide Waters. Should be squeezed somewhere here. So this is another mechanic that Healing Rain is doing. This is that when you use Healing Wave, all targets with Riptide get healed a little. Another mechanic what is Healing Rain doing, that if you are standing in it, you have the same buff for increasing your heal to the targets as it's Riptide. But usually you have easy time to just spread those Riptide. It's quite easy. You have 3 stacks now. It's absolutely not an issue to have Riptide on everyone. So yes, ideally you want to always keep Healing Rain under the enemy and as many friendly. So I put it on the side, so when tank is over here and the rest of the group, you can may hit some ranged if you are lucky. So yeah, mainly on the enemies and try to hit as many players as possible and just keep recasting it mostly on the damage, but also we have some healing purposes from it. That's why it's lowest priority, but usually we have time for it to just keep applying it over and over. But again, even need to heal big time right now, we don't think about Healing Rain. But when we have already Rain down and we need to heal, it's an addition, because it will still do something. Alright, enough of details of our priority list, let's put it together. So the very first thing when we get to the combat, we are starting with the Flame Shocks. Then we always have prepared our shields. So air shield, there should be water shield, usually on the start of the dungeon, don't need to replace. So these two things prepared. Before we start healing, after damage start hitting us, we are using our Riptides. Then we are using our totems, Healing Stream or Cloudburst. Third priorities we are using our little cooldown to empower our next spell, make it faster and cheaper. And then we are getting to our Primordial Wave. This is first sign of AoE, and if you need to heal multiple targets, instantly go for Primordial Wave. Now the fifth priority is Healing Surges. That's our bread and butter, just spamming Healing Surges, spam, 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 spam. Of course other things are rolling like Totem. We have Riptides already planned and we consuming Tidal Waves. Next one is our Flame Shock Lava Burst, because we want to get rolling that increase healing, and that healing will also increase our damage. So in M+ is a nice combination. In raid we don't care that much about our damage, but in the dungeons it makes just dungeon faster, so it's easier to complete because you have more time. And the last priority is just keeping Healing Rain. Whew. It's a lot with new talents. There is so many mechanics. Okay, let's go straight for the talents, because I don't want this guide to be for 5 hours long. Ancestral Guidance and Ascendance, I will talk about them together. Before there was more similarity, or rather the power was similar. Now Ancestral Guidance, it's sharing only 10% of your healing to other targets. Before it was 25%. So Ancestral Guidance and Ascendance could be used almost for the same reasons. Now Ancestral Guidance, it's a weaker cooldown from these two. And it's still sharing 25% of your damage on 3 targets, but just 10% healing, so it's not worth as much as before to just heal from it. So now how to use Ancestral Guidance is when you are doing damage and there is some damage in the group and you don't want to bother that much, then you will just use it and you pump damage and will be healing to the group. It's not that good as Valdraken dummies because I had more friendly targets to see the damage, but yeah, it's not as great as before, so just keep using it often, it's no big deal. So don't think about it, this is my healing cooldown, I will click this and everybody will be safe. It will increase your healing a little, but just more like healing from damage. Think about it as healing from damage. That means our Ascendance is replacing our Ancestral Guidance that was usually better than Ascendance in dungeons, but now it's nerfed. So now we have Ascendance, we have 1 minute shorter cooldown, so not 3 minutes anymore, it's 2 minutes, and Ascendance is sharing 70% of your heal, split amongst allies. It's also healing full targets, so it's not like Cloudburst Totem that is healing only injured allies, it's healing everyone. So if you want to increase your healing, use Ascendance as your main healing improvement cooldowns. Before, it was Ancestral Guidance that was a little bit better than Ascendance. Not anymore now. Of course, you can still do nice, decent damage. It will heal decently, but it's not something, oh, I need to heal huge numbers. Ascendance is now our button. Shorter version of Ascendance we already can get. Ah, this was amazing! I click it once, I proc it. We have a chance to proc it for shorter duration. It's 7% to proc it, and it's from our Riptide. Alright, next, Healing Tide Totem. I was really happy with Healing Tide Totem because after I use it, it was healing. It's performing. Before, even in raid, if you use it, nobody cared because nobody even noticed it's up. It was healing so little. Not even saying how little it was in the dungeon. Now when you use it in dungeon, you can actually see your group is getting healed. It's good feeling. It's not some amazing cooldown, but it's actually useful. So that's what gets me excited, because it's not useless. So yeah, if you need any kind of AoE heals, just go for it. It's not that long cooldown, and definitely it will heal decently. Of course, it's not big burst healing, so think about that, but as we don't have many AoE abilities in this build, because we are healing with Healing Surge, Healing Tide Totem is great combination. Of course, you still keep healing. You put it down and it's helping, but you still heal that AoE. It's not like it will do everything for you. But yes, it's our good choice for AoEs. It's same like Ascendance, because we are healing with single target. Ascendance is sharing to AoE. Same as Cloudburst, we are healing single target, but Cloudburst Totem will share it to AoE, and same as Totem is our help to do AoE, because our base healing tools, Riptide and Healing Surge, is single target. So next we have Spirit Link Totem, classic. What this totem is doing, every second for every player that is standing in this link, their health will be adjusted so everybody have the same percentage. Don't worry if somebody have more health or less health, it will be shared by health points. So for example, if tank will get health down from 100% to 50, it will be much more health for the group than if you as a healer, because you have much less health than a tank. So yeah, it's sharing so everybody's same percentage, but it's still keeping amount of health somebody who have it. So it's not like tank is not contributing same amount and it's just bad for the tank, because it's splitting percentage but health. So you have same percentage, but it's not moving health by percentage. I really hope I explain it as a person and you can understand. And also 10% damage reduction for everybody in it. That's nice addition. So yeah, great for saving somebody who is really low. The rest of the group is almost full health. You place that, you will share health, and suddenly that guy who was dying is completely good and chilling. Also great addition to our AoE heal spools, because we are healing to a single target, even AoE. So if that AoE is really strong and is hitting really hard, when you place our Spirit Link Totem, then suddenly our single target heals are healing AoE, because that health is just shared. Then we have yet another totem that's a new addition, and that Stone Boulevard Totem. It's massive shield. It's just for you. So the problem with Shamans was you didn't have many defensives, you had one. Now we have Totem. It's quite long cooldown, but it's strong, and it's another defensive for Shaman. So really welcome. Just use it anytime you want to reduce your damage. It's really good, really strong, and it's not too expensive on mana. Just quite long cooldown, but again, we had nothing after 1d6 on Shaman, so this is really welcomed. And last, let's say mini cooldown, won't do much, but is Totem Miracle. It will cancel cooldown of some totem. Not strong totems, so it won't recharge your Storm Bulwark totem, won't recharge your Healing Tide, your Spiraling, but some shorter cooldown totems, or rather weaker. So usually what you want to do with this, it's you are spamming Cloudburst, then you just click it, and suddenly I have still 2 stacks. So usually for Cloudburst, Healing Stream totem, it won't do that huge. Alright, little note about damage on the end. So we are already casting Healing Rays, and we are casting Flame Shocks and Lava Bursts. And that's almost everything. Only thing we can add to it is when we have AoE, we want to cast Chain Lightning. If you have 3 targets, go for Chain Lightning. If you have 2 or 1 target, we are using Lightning Bolt. But otherwise, we are always doing that same rotation because we want to do some damage for healing too. Even when there is many targets, 10 targets, and we still need to heal something, we prefer to first use Lava Burst until we have 2 stacks. After we have 2 stacks and we are ready for strong heal, then we can just cast this Chain Lightning. But it's important even for AoE because that increases healing what you get from it, and then you get from that healing Flame Shock and blah blah blah, but still. But let's say priority, just to make it simple and together. So single target, Flame Shock, Lava Bursts. Then you keep a Healing Rain, it's worth it even for single target damage, so you still keep that Healing Rain even for single target. And then it's just Lightning Bolt. So yeah, Flame Shock, Lava Burst, Healing Rain, Lightning, done. AoE is exactly the same thing, just the last point, we replace Lightning Bolt with Chain Lightning. Very simple. At least something finally is simple with the Shaman. Well, everything is simple. The thing with the Shaman is, you can heal decent amount and you can be good healer without understanding all of these synergies. You just need to know, you need to click this. You don't need to understand why it's so good. So the thing is, it's not difficult to play. It's just many things are working together like this. Flame Shock and Lava Burst and the Riptide have many effects, and working with that one, and yeah, it's a lot of puzzles coming together. But to gameplay wise, it's not difficult. It's just a little bit more from the start, like understand it rather, not to actually practice how to play with the healer, because actual gameplay it's absolutely not an issue. Alright, that's everything what I wanted to say. Hopefully it was helpful for you. Any question you have, just let me know. If you prefer rather guide in a text, I have everything what I'm saying here. I have on Discord. I'm actually first writing guide in a text, and by that text I'm just reading that text. Well, not reading, but I'm making the same points as I'm just looking on the screen on the guide I have in text, so it's exactly the same thing. So you can check it on my Discord if you prefer in that format. Discord link is in the description, and anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.